The following text is taken from an article in the National newspaper from the 22nd of June 2025, written by Xander Elliards and entitled "The SNP Working with Tories to Weaken Land Reform Bill," MSPs say.
The SNP are using Conservative votes to keep significant changes out of the Land Reform Bill, MSPs have said. The Greens' Mark Ruskell and Labour's Mercedes Villalba both told the Sunday National that the SNP government was using Tory votes to keep effective measures out of the new legislation. The Land Reform, Scotland, bill will this week pass Stage 2 at Holyrood, where amendments to the initial wording are proposed by MSPs and voted on for inclusion or rejection by members of the Net Zero, Energy and Transport Committee. However, last week, MSPs on the committee, which has 3 SNP, 2 Tory, 1 Labour, and 1 Green member, voted against measures including putting a public interest test on the proposed buyer of Scottish land. The amendment, proposed by Villalba and rejected by the SNP and Tories, would have forced ministers to take into account things like a potential landowner's tax residence when deciding if a sale would be in the public interest. MSPs and the government did support dropping the threshold for estates covered by the legislation from 300 to 1,000 hectares, but the SNP and Tories voted together to reject an amendment to push that down further to 500 hectares. Villalba had tabled a more radical proposal that would have prevented anyone in Scotland from owning more than 500 hectares of land unless it could be shown to have environmental or community benefits. This was also voted down by the SNP and Tories. Changing the threshold at which estates are covered by the bill from 300 to 1,000 hectares means that the number of estates which will be required to publish land management plans, support wild places, and comply with the Scottish Outdoor Access Code has been doubled to a total of about 700, covering just over 60% of Scotland's land, the John Muir Trust said. Villalba said that 67% of Scotland's countryside is owned by just 0.025% of the population, and that the 1,000 hectare threshold would do nothing to change this. Ruskell further said that the bill in its current state was fundamentally not going to lead to a solution to the growing inequalities in land ownership that we have in Scotland.